Yeah, thank you. So today we're making apple jam scrolls. Simple recipe. We've got 1 cup of self-raising flour plus another 1/4 cup of self-raising flour. Run it through the sieve. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of custard powder. I'm going to put that in there when I sift it. It'll help it to mix through a bit better. We also have a tablespoon of sugar to run through the sieve as well. So mixing it all through. Taking a butter knife, we're going to use that later on, to mix it through so it's all even. I'm going to make a well, or a hole, or a well in the middle. In the middle, I put in my liquids. So it's cream, it's 150 ml of cream. And then about 2 tablespoons of milk. Now if this recipe is a little bit too wet, so not sloppy, sticky, gooey wet, but a little bit wetter, it'll end up being fluffier and lighter. So try and make sure you follow the recipe exactly. And if you do happen to just mismeasure, you can't really add liquid to it after it's been done, because it just ends up becoming really hard. So if you're not quite sure, if you can't measure things down to measuring equipment, make it a little bit wetter and you can add flour to it later on. Okay, and then just mixing it through. We've made scones before, use the rubbing method. When I make scones at home, this is the method I use. It's flour and cream and milk, and that's it pretty much. The oven's already on, it's heating up to 180 degrees Celsius. Mixing it through. You don't want to overwork this. You're working as little as possible. And then, perfect. Stick it on the bench and just bring it together. And then that is going to sit and rest for a couple of minutes. Mine will, while you go back and do yours. Once you've done yours, you're going to come back and I'll show you how to finish these off. That's it. So it's now mixed up, it's sat there for a couple of minutes. It's rested. I'm going to roll it out into a rectangular shape. If it does stick, you can get a little bit of flour and just dust the bench. So when you dust, hold the flour in your hand and just shake it sideways. You don't want to go plonk, you don't want lumps of flour there. It doesn't matter if it's not a perfect rectangle, but rectangular-ish. Yeah, it's starting to stick a little bit, but it should be okay. Alrighty, now we take a tablespoon of jam. This just adds sweetness and a little bit of flavour to it. And I'm going to put it in a small bowl. Come and see Charlie for your jam. It's a tablespoon each and that's it. Soften it up just by mixing it with the butter knife. And get a nice thin spread. You don't want lumps of jam in there, just a nice thin spread. It's sugar, so mostly sugar. So when this cooks, it's going to caramelize and get really hot. So when they come out of the oven, don't eat them straight away. On goes my apples. You could also put sultanas in here if you want to. You change it, put any fruit really. Peach, pears, whatever it might be, whatever you fancy. And my sieve is there. Lastly, I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon over it. So just gently tapping it, sprinkling it. You don't want to have a great big lump of cinnamon. And done. Bit heavy there. Then lastly, it's going to roll it up. Almost finished. Now to save dishes, I'm going to put a little bit of milk into the measuring cup we used earlier. I'm going to glaze them. By glazing them, it helps them go brown. So butter knife on the bench, or put it on a chopping board and use something a bit sharper. Just cut it into 8 pieces. Turn it up, put it on your baking tray and give it a little bit of a squish down. Now they'll spread out and rise a little bit because it's self-raising flour, but not too much. And lastly, taking a pastry brush, just milk it. If you forget the milk, it won't matter too much, it just helps give a little bit of extra colour at the end. In the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes at 180 degrees. That should be good. And these have come out of the oven. Nice and gold. And at the bottom, this is also brown.